to understand the mind completely, just forget everything that you think you know about the mind. And I'm not asking you to do that forever, just while you're here today. Completely forget everything that you think you know about the mind. Everything you've learned from wherever you've learned it, plus your own personal philosophies, whatever they might be. And for most of us, that's a lot to forget. Because for most of us, we're running software that has been added to over the course of our lives. So we have lots of thoughts and emotions and sensations and other things. But these are just like a software program that's running. In and of itself, it doesn't cause any trouble. However, when we start to have a lot of beliefs about all these thoughts and emotions, then they start to cause us trouble. So, what we can count on about our mind is that it is a basic space. That's what it is. It's a basic space. And that space is entirely pure. And everything that goes on within that space, that is entirely pure too. It's inseparable from the space. So any thoughts or emotions we have, and our thoughts and emotions are just what we could call impressions that are responses to experiences, whether they're inner experiences or outer experiences. So these are they're simple impressions. That's all they are. They're energy within the basic space of mind. They're the dynamic energy of the mind. They're inseparable from the mind, but in and of themselves, they don't cause any trouble. They're not problematic in any way. They only become problematic when we have belief systems that they are problematic. So let's look at it another way. Within the all-encompassing basic space of mind, which is a pure and all-encompassing balanced view, occur many points of view. We'll just call all the thoughts, emotions, all the impressions of the mind points of view within the all-encompassing basic space of the mind. And number two is that all of these impressions, this dynamic energy of the mind, the points of view, they cause no trouble. They're not hindrances. They're not obstacles. Nothing needs to be done about them. They're not anything that can disturb us in any way. It's only when we have a belief that they can disturb us that they're able to disturb us. So this is simply a belief system that what's occurring within mind can disturb us or make us happy for that matter. But really, when we look at what occurs within the mind, whatever it is disturbing if we believe that it's going to give us something, either painful or pleasureful. So, if we have certain thoughts within the mind that we want to keep because they're sources of pleasure, then those are disturbing because we can't hold on to them. It's impossible to hold on to the thoughts and emotions that give us pleasure. And then the other ones, the negative ones, we want to get rid of. So they're disturbing too. So see whether they're positive or negative, these labels that we've given everything that occurs that is never problematic from the beginning. This causes us to feel uncomfortable in life. So if we're always trying to hold on to good thoughts and emotions and get rid of bad thoughts and emotions, they're equally disturbing in that way because we can't hold on to the good ones and we can't get rid of the bad ones. So, what to do? Well, what to do is already evident in what I've described. We, through habitual pattern of our software, learn to get very involved with all of the dynamic energy of mind, the thoughts and emotions, and to give them incredible significance and importance as though they really are something. All the while we're attributing significance and importance to them, the entire basic space of their natural presence is completely wide open and carefree. All it is the basic space of mind. Just because labels are applied to the basic space of mind and its impressions doesn't mean that those impressions change into something. They never change into anything. They always remain the basic space of the mind, which is in complete equilibrium always. Now, I can prove that to you right here, that the basic space of mind is in complete equilibrium always, with all of its contents always and forever just naturally falling away, naturally vanishing, with nothing needing to be done about them. All of us, no matter who we are, have looked at it in a mirror at some point in our life for the first time. And then over the course of our lives, we look in a mirror again and again as we change, as our physical appearance changes. But almost everyone who looks in a mirror at some point says, wow, whatever is looking in this mirror, that has never changed. I see someone in the mirror here who's getting wrinkles and gray hair, or grew from 5 years to 10 years old, or whatever it is. But what is looking is completely unaffected. What is looking is completely unaffected by all these impressions, all these thoughts and emotions that are responses to experiences. And, if we just really rest as that equilibrium of what's looking and never changing, then it's much easier to allow just all of these unpredictable thoughts and emotions to be whatever they are, without getting overwhelmed by their importance or significance. We drain ourselves of our vitality. We drain ourselves of our life energy when we persist in holding to the significance and importance of something which is nothing other than a basic space. So you see, whether we label an impression of the mind as anger, or whether we label it as joy, it's the same basic space. It's only when we start to think that some things are good and other things are bad that we seem to have fallen out of the great equalness, the total simplicity of the great equalness. Through acknowledging these thoughts and emotions over and over again as being significant in their own right, we start to ignore the basis of the thought itself. We just don't notice that it's there. So through acknowledging the significance of our thoughts and emotions over and over again, we come to believe that they're real. And when we acknowledge our natural state, the natural state of our own being, the ease of our own being, the complete equilibrium of the natural state of the mind over and over again, that becomes more obvious. So, this is just as simple as resting as awareness. Resting is the basic space of mind. Awareness and the basic space of mind are synonymous. To rest is that awareness repeatedly for short moments, many times, until it becomes obvious. So this is completely uncontrived. We're not trying to get into any kind of a state like no thought or non-conceptual state, no self, bliss, emptiness, none of that. Those are all just other points of view. We don't need to change anything in order to realize the timeless freedom of everything as it is. When we rest in this totally natural way as the awareness or basic space of all the points of view, then we begin to see these points of view in a new way. When we begin to rest as awareness, one of the things we notice is we start to notice that some of the points of view when they appear, in other words, some of the thoughts and emotions when they appear, instead of them being something we want to do something about, either hold to them or push them away, instead it's like meeting an old friend. Hi, I know you. I've seen you before. And then gradually we transition from that to seeing that there's nothing to do about these thoughts and emotions. So first we recognize them as though they're an old friend. We don't see them in the same way. Then it isn't that we do anything when they appear. They appear and they're their own undoing, whatever the thought or emotion is, like a line drawn in water or the knot in a snake untying itself. So after we just rest as awareness, and for a while, all of these thoughts and emotions we notice they're their own undoing. We've never had to do anything about them. And then lastly, the thoughts and emotions it's like returning to a house where we once lived and we were totally comfortable and it was filled with all of our furniture and belongings. And we go back to the house and it's completely empty. So, it's just like the solar winds stir the air in the sky and the clouds just disappear naturally. The clouds come from pure space and they return to pure space. And so just by resting as awareness, everything that we thought to be something becomes completely resolved in the basic space of awareness. And this happens very naturally and in a completely uncontrived way. No circumstances whatsoever need to be changed. The timeless wisdom of the magnificent clear light of awareness, the vast expanse, has never been stained in any way. Everything is already completely resolved within it, and nothing that occurs within it needs to have anything whatsoever done about it. Whatever your circumstances are, they're the perfect circumstances for resting as awareness and realizing the potent benefit of the timeless wisdom power of great equalness. No circumstance needs to be changed. In the stainless, the forever stainless, flawless equalness of total simplicity of everything just as it is, there's nothing whatsoever that needs to be adjusted. How could any contributing circumstances be required for that which has never had circumstances? When we rest as the great equilibrium, then we're no longer tied to all of our points of view. If we continue to persist in our belief systems, whatever they are, it's like being a pole planted in the ground that can't possibly get out of the ground. And if we continue to believe in all our points of view as having meaning or significance, it's like an elephant stepping into quicksand. If an elephant steps into quicksand, wow,